everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Avon Van Hassel. I'm a self-published author, and I'm here every Wednesday to give you guys some tips and tricks on things to do in your writing. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of a departure from the tips and tricks because we only have 2 days left of Nano, and so I'm pretty much... if the tips aren't helping, they're not helping. They're not going to help you in the next 2 days, but, you know, there have been 3 previous videos that should help you if you do need an extra little push. What I do want to talk to you guys about is what's happening next month. Now, some of you may know, some of you may suspect, but I'm a big old fan of mermaids. And this actually happened before I wrote my 3rd book, Siren Song, which is based on The Little Mermaid. I've actually been into mermaids for a long time. It just kind of, my dive, as it were, into the world of real life mermaiding kind of coincided with the editing process of Siren Song. So they kind of worked together. Yes, you can be a real life mermaid. That's a real thing. Obviously within a certain amount of real world magic, shall we say. But yeah, so the reason I want to talk to you about it is because there is an art event called MerMay, which starts on May 1st. And the idea is, assuming it hasn't been canceled like Inktober was, hopefully MerMay is still okay. And not horrible and problematic. But MerMay, essentially what it is every day for 30 days. 30 days? January, February, March, April, May. 31 days. You draw a mermaid or something mermaid related. And I have attempted it a few times. I'm not an artist, I'm a writer. Words are my paintbrush. But I have attempted it, and it's been a lot of fun. And it's kind of... I just really freaking love mermaids so much. So it's a fun way to play around with mermaids for every day for a month. If you guys could see my room right now, there are mermaids everywhere in my room. I have 5 tails and 3 monofins. So this story is all over the place. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just gonna this is very unstructured, so this is just how I talk in real life. Enjoy this little window into my crazy. So, like I said, I've loved mermaids forever. And then, in May of 2019, I think, I've been following a couple of pages and groups on Facebook for a while because they just look so much fun. All these people flipping around in mermaid tails and stuff. And it just occurred to me, all of a sudden, like, what would it take to just buy one? Like, to just get a tail. I have a pool in my backyard. I live in Southern California. I live in the desert, right? I know for a lot of places in the world, I have a pool. Makes it sound really exotic, but most people here have pools because it's so friggin' hot. So, I have a pool. So I was like, how hard would that actually be, though? To just get a tail and swim in it. Turns out not hard at all. Turns out there are a ton of people, I say a ton, there are a few people who make really high quality, really awesome, totally swimmable mermaid tails for totally affordable prices. And it's kind of amazing, or mermazing, as we say in the pod. And it's a really great community. And it's a lot of fun. Mermaiding, I would kind of describe as part way between cosplay and performing art and exercise. Because a big part of mermaiding is swimming, which is a pretty decent exercise. And there are a lot of places like public pools and gyms that will allow you to take a monofin. A monofin is like, you know, divers' fins, like scuba fins? It's like that, but it's one piece. So instead of having freestanding or separate fins, you have one, and it's kind of like a spatula, and you put both your feet into the little socket, and then you have like an extension part that there's a soft silicone part, and then there's a flat plastic part. And I'll post some pictures of my monofins just to kind of make sense. So there's a space for your feet, and then there's a hard part that kind of gives it propulsion. I just kind of assumed that the sort of people who would be buying mermaid tails were the sort of people who would be, like, performing at parties, or they'd be, you know, some sort of performer, professional mermaids who worked at theme parks or casinos or, you know, that sort of thing. Turned out, no. You can just buy one and just wear it and do photo shoots or swim in your pool or lounge by the pool. I've seen people who just put their tails on and just sit on the couch and watch TV. And there are different, like, values that you can get. Like, there are some people who make tails out of essentially swimsuit material, so those tend to be the cheapest. But that doesn't necessarily mean bad quality. It just means the cheapest, and they're not super high quality, but they're still totally fine and fun and swimmable. There are people who make kind of high-end fabric ones out of things like neoprene, which is swimsuit material, or like thicker, kind of more heavy-duty material. Those tend to run in the like 300 to 500 range, so they're an investment. And a lot of them will have like hip fins or dorsal fins or other add-ons, funny shaped flukes and things. Then there are some people make fins that have actual scales sewn on, like movable scales. They're usually made out of acrylic, I think. So they're plastic. I have a few bags of scales, but I don't have an actual tail that has scales on it for reasons. Also, cost. Those are expensive. You're running into like multiple thousands at that point. And then you have the full silicone tails, which are usually made to your specific measurements, and they're hand painted, and I don't think they have a monofin inserted. I think it's all one piece. I don't actually know how much those cost on average because it scares me. It seems like the kind of knowledge that they only tell you when you're ready to buy, and I'm not. And honestly, I don't think I ever will be, because I can't imagine being like a professional mermaid, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of happy with the fabric tails that I have. I do have a couple high-end ones, but you know. So this is all kind of one big thing that kind of ties into MerMay. So just, it's coincidental that I joined the mermaid community on May 25th of 2019. And so that's why I chose May 25th as the publication date for Siren Song, because it was kind of like my anniversary. Sadly, that was the day that George Floyd was murdered. It was kind of difficult celebrating my launch, and then a couple of days later finding out that something terrible happened on that day. So that was why I decided that all the proceeds for the first calendar year of Siren Song would go to charities relating to ending police brutality. So most of the proceeds are going to Communities United Against Police Brutality, but some have gone to the George Floyd Foundation and some have gone to Black Lives Matter LA, because that's my local. So I didn't really want to, I felt weird making money off of something, even though it's completely unrelated, and your first month and first year is like the majority of the money you're going to make on a project. But I just felt weird having that association, and I'm not profiting from it, but it felt like that's what I could do. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a lot of money, and this was at the height of the pandemic, and we know now that there wasn't a spike in cases related to the Black Lives Matter protests, but at the time we didn't know that. And there was a lot of violence going on. There was a man murdered in my town. A black man who I believe was hit by a car at a protest. So I did not feel safe marching. And so I thought that the most I could do and the most symbolic contribution I could make was with the proceeds of this book. And this book does deal a bit with race and intolerance and unnecessary prejudice and that sort of thing. So I kind of felt like there was some symbolism there. So I published on May 25th, and it is now May 4th, I want to say. But anyway, there's still some days left to purchase Siren Song and have the proceeds go to those 3 charities, or one of those 3 charities. Just as an aside, $1 from the proceeds of all of my paperbacks, including Siren Song, are going to One Tree Planted, which is a reforestation charity that plants a tree for every $1 donated. So I figured while I was on the topic of charity donations, I might mention that one as well. So for instance, if you bought a paperback copy of Siren Song, $1 would go to One Tree Planted and the rest would go to CUAPB or BLM-LA or the George Floyd Foundation. So just so you know where your money's going until May 26th. And then after May 26th, then I'll be keeping the royalties from those. Yeah, so that's still ongoing for the next few weeks. So if you want to take advantage of that. So back to MerMay. I've already got some art up that I've been working on. Not a lot because, we're not far into the month, and also I'm not an artist, so I'm doing my best. But yeah, I just thought that would be a fun thing for us all to chat about. So there's going to be a lot of mermaid related art coming this month because I get a whole month to one of my very favorite interests. And I was kind of considering relaunching Siren Song again this year, because choosing a different day. Because I feel like I didn't really do it justice last year, George Floyd aside, because obviously when it happened, we didn't get the news until a couple of days later. But I feel like because of the pandemic and because of some other things that were going on with myself and with people at the time, I didn't have the launch party that I wanted to have. So I feel like it didn't get as much buzz as it could have. And so I'm considering relaunching it, but I'm not sure. So I will keep you guys updated if I decide to go that way. But until then, let's just enjoy mermaids. And I will be posting more pictures of my tails and myself in my tails. And I have some plans for some art related to my tails, like costumes and things. And that might be interesting for you guys. And if you would like some links to some of the companies that make affordable tails, if this is something that you think you would love to dip your toes into, I will post them in the description box, because the mermaid community is a very inclusive community. We don't discriminate against age, weight, race, obviously, gender, sexuality. We're all mermaids, or mermen, merfolk. There we go. We're all merfolk. That is a term that we use. And we're all in the same pod, and we all need to look after each other. Oh, and we're all conservationists. That's one thing. If you're gonna be in the merfolk pod, you gotta give a shit about the ocean. It's just, you can't have the one without the other. It's not possible. So I'm gonna be adding, that's what I should do this year to celebrate the launch. I should donate some shit to ocean conservation. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm going to relaunch, but I'm going to do an ocean conservation. Yes. I'm excited now. That's a good idea. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, because I can ramble forever, because I friggin' love mermaids. And, I also have a blog post about mermaids, and I will post that in the description box as well. And I'm going to stop rambling because it's getting hot, and I got to go see if these tails still fit. So I will see you guys next week. I should be out of the 2-week range by next week, and I will be safe to go out in public with a mask and still social distancing and washing my hands. But we're finally seeing a light at the end of this tunnel, you guys. It's almost over, so, flip your fins and be happy. Anyway, so if this rambling, wild, unstructured video did not put you off, be sure to like and comment, because I'm told that helps, and it's fun to not just scream into the void without any feedback at all. And if you think that someone would enjoy MerMay, or mermaiding, or any of that, or would like to donate to any of my charities through my book, there's still time for that. And after that, we'll be doing ocean conservation. So this little book is going to be the little book that could. So share this video if you think there's somebody who might think it's fun. And be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell so that you know when I post. And there will be more structured work in the future, I promise. More structured videos. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.